You're still watching East Central. Before the break, we brought you some of the biggest stories in entertainment, including that Billboard is putting out a list of the 50 biggest Afrobeat songs. And that's not all. Nipsey Hussle, of course, is being celebrated in Los Angeles as he would have turned 40. But now, my favorite part of the show, on Hot Topics today, we'll go back and forth about the Nigerian music scene. Although Afrobeat is making waves, some have asked if the music is losing depth for virality. Joining me to break it down, versus vibes, Music and our associate, Maven Records, a friend of East Central, Trust Roy. Trust, thank you for being a part of the show. Now, Trust, can you hear me? I want to be sure we can hear you properly.
I can hear you loud and clear. I can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. We're good. Trust, again, good to have you on the show. Let's get into this conversation, right? It's undeniable Afrobeats is doing this thing around the world. But let's talk about the depths of lyrical content in Nigerian music. I mean, compared to eras of icons like Fela, Lagbaja, would you say it has changed, maybe for better or for worse? What do you think?
I mean, music is always evolving, right? Like you rightly said, in the time of Fela, music was primarily a tool for activism and telling the stories that were reflective of the times that Nigerians were living in. So yes, music is changing, and not just music is changing. Everything is changing now. Like on every street corner, there's someone selling shawarma, selling fries, there's someone selling meat pie. As opposed to having like proper cooked food and buka. It's just reflective of how fast our lives have evolved into, and it also shows in the music that we're consuming today. The music is changing. We used to have songs that used to be as long as 5 minutes. Now we're struggling to have songs that are 2 minutes, 30 seconds. And people are pushing the boundaries, trying to do 1 minute, 50 seconds just because of replay value. So, I mean, yes, it is changing, and it's the evolution is continuing.
Now, speaking about these changes, in your opinion, what has impacted the change the most? Would you say maybe social media, or maybe the more streaming platforms now, or just the idea that we all want to blow? What would you say is the reason behind these changes?
I mean, there are a plethora of things that can or that are directly influencing the change that we're seeing now. So, for example, social media is one of them, right? Platforms like TikTok, Thriller used to be a thing at some point, Instagram Reels. These platforms that prioritize short-form content, they have low-key trained their audience, and the AI is training their audiences that, you need to catch a vibe in 15, 30 seconds. If in the next 15 seconds of a song or 30 seconds, I cannot catch a vibe, like there's something that I don't like in the song, then, I have lost out of it. Also now, artists are prioritizing hooks and catchy beats over the storytelling that will be grabbing attention. Basically, because the hook is the pie, is the big element in the song. So once the hook is catchy, whatever things you're saying, it doesn't matter. Is it memorable? Can people easily repeat it when they're singing? It's something and then also, the songs have been built around trends. Now, when artists are in the studio making songs, they're like, okay, where's this song going to lead? How can this music feed into the daily lives of everybody? So you see some people start thinking, what is trending now? Chin is trending now, is a popular thing people say. Next week in the studio, somebody is going to record a song, and the hook of the song is chin, chin. So like people are just fitting into the trends to ensure that they get the virality and they just stay on top. So those are some of the reasons that that's contributing to people chasing songs that have more virality as opposed to songs that tell more stories. But I mean, at the end of the day, I would always say the storytelling wins every time. Even as a journalist, right? When you're telling stories, being on TV, being on radio, you're basically telling stories. And those that tell the best stories, are the guys that stand out from the guys that don't. But at the same time, you need to also times that we're living in. I know that virality is the quickness of it all is a very integral part of the times that we're living.
Trust, speaking about storytelling and how important it is, on the other side, we've seen viral hits. I mean, Rema has Kelebu. I don't even know what that means. CK's Long Watiti was such a hit. Ira Star. Now I'm looking at it and saying, you know what? Are we choosing these viral hits, and does it affect, the storytelling? Could you have both?
Yes, you can have both, and that's what some of the songs that you have mentioned have done. Storytelling meets virality. So I'll give you a classic example. Rema's He Is, right? When you listen to the body of work or you listen to the singles independently, they are selling stories. One of my favorite songs on the song is a song called He Is. You hear some women in Swahili singing a chant, and the chant is basically saying, "Oh, you are him," with the next verse saying after sliced bread, you know. And so when you listen to the project as a whole, cohesive from top to finish, it's an entire story that has been told, even with the visuals, even with the artwork and all those other elements. So yes, artists are telling stories, but a lot of times they are doing that with their projects, with their EPs, as opposed to the singles. The singles are just, will I say, clickbaits. They entice you to want to listen to, okay, what does this artist have to say, more than, you know, anything else. And I mean, yes, artists are still prioritizing storytelling. Artists like Johnny Drill, you know, in all his songs, he prioritizes storytelling. Artists like Cottrell, Burna Boy, you know, when he put out the African giant project, Love Damini, you know, the storytelling is interwoven into the songs. That's maybe the lead single, then you hear the interludes. And so I think that when it comes to storytelling, when artists decide that they want to tell stories, a lot of them are tilting towards using their bodies of work to tell the stories as opposed to using singles. Because with singles, you just want to catch that quick wave. You want people to dance to it. You want it to be on the radio. You want people on TikTok to find in 10 seconds, 15 seconds cuts that they're going to use and, you know, be put on their videos and their reels. So,
you know,
yeah, that's how
I was going to say this. I like that you had mentioned, you know, Remas, you know, and Swahili being used, because I was going to ask next about our culture. You know, back in the days, you know, Afro beats, whether it's King Sunny Ade, Lagbaja, or even, you know, Fela Kuti, there was this importance, you know, on our culture, whether even if it was using our own language, our indigenous language. Now, is that missing, you know, or is our culture still exported the same way, even with the music? You know, do they feel like they know Nigerians and Afro beats and where it's from, or is it just vibe?
So the thing is that music is a universal language, right? It doesn't matter what you're speaking. Once the melody is right, once the hook is right. I mean, who would imagine that I'll be at a club at 1 a.m. and I'm singing, I don't know what they're saying.
Absolutely.
But I just, the language just speaks to me. So artists still using their individual languages to tell stories. Yes, I hear songs in Igbo all the time. I hear songs in Yoruba all the time. And again, I think it's even more beautiful because Nigerians are everywhere in the diaspora. So when you make a song and you're speaking Yoruba, I think it was only for the guys in Lagos. Somebody in the UK that's listening to your music and playing it at their restaurants or playing at the gym, and everyone's like, "Oh, what's Ashake saying here?" You know, I've been seeing videos at Ashake's concerts and even Rema's concerts where they're saying stuff. People don't really understand what they're saying. I saw a video of somewhere in New Orleans, and they were playing Charlie Poppy's Lahore, you know, with a full band. They don't know what he's saying, but the music really just speaks to them. So it's definitely not a disadvantage when artists are using their local dialect to make music. I think that even more than anything, it makes you stand out because, yeah, imagine you want to do regular R&B. Well, there are many Britney Spears out there. There are many Brandes out there. There are many Beyoncés out there singing in English language. What makes you stand out? How do you come to what do you able? You know, it's that Africanness, it's that element of what you have that you bring to the table that makes it now look sellable, make it more appealing to the general public.
I mean, you are an A&R, you know, associate. So maybe you're the perfect one for this question. There's a lot of pressure, you know, to give us these viral hits. And somebody would say that, you know, conscious music doesn't even sell anymore. What do you think about that? Because for the next generation of musicians who want to be signed, who want to find a balance, you know, who want to sell, you know, even maybe the way Thames did, even though it was in Nigeria, she blew up first. How would you approach that? How would you advise them to do that and find this balance?
It's not that conscious music is not selling anymore. It's just nobody does conscious music anymore. They're all singing about a lady's behind and blowing up money in the club and some nonsense, right? Nobody is being intentional about the music. And this is also a concern that we always have on industry tables, especially on the publishing side of things, where the music licensors are looking for Nigerian music to place on ads and looking for Nigerian music to place on maybe FIFA, PS2, to just sing Nigerian music. But everybody is singing about women. Nobody's singing about anything else. So it's not a thing of, there is no even conscious music to say, hey, try, let's hear this and see. The last person that tried to do conscious music was Burna Boy, and Nigerians were calling him a culture vulture, that he's profiting off the pain of Nigerians. But look at our lives. The reality of our lives is pain every day. You know, people are being crushed by the trucks left, right, and center. People are hungry. The few kills are out there. And also, I think that because of the way that Nigerians generally receive Burna's music and him trying to do conscious music, he has scared a lot of people away from even approaching music from that perspective.
Trust.
But I think that in the near future, we might be seeing more people try that.
I wish we had more time to spend on this conversation because there's a lot to talk about. But I want to say thank you for spending time with us, of course. A&R Associate Maven Records. Trust, thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you, sir. Bye.